Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into the video. Today's 10/10 of 13. And I've already done videos about the government shutdown and different things like that. But there's so much being talked about on every news channel, national and local and state, all the national news, and it's all about the government shutdown, and it's all about the debt ceiling and Obamacare, and that's all everybody's thinking about. And other stories are, for one thing, are just getting pushed aside and hardly ever being talked about or not being covered at all. And we've all seen and even lived, even though we weren't there, through the TV and the media of the tragedy on September 11th of '01. The planes flying into the Twin Towers, and the plane in the Pentagon, and then the brave people that stopped the flight and it crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So the reason I bring this up is most of you know I live in Florida, in Central Florida, and there's a news channel called WTSP, Channel 10 News in the Tampa-St. Pete area, and they do some investigative type news stuff too as well. Usually it's all like local or state, but they have come across some information that I think everybody needs to know about, especially if you fly a lot. And what's going on is the TSA and other agencies are covering up that there are possible terror plot probes and dry runs that are happening on U.S. flights in the United States. And the latest one that happened that they're aware of is September 2nd of this year. Watch the news story and let me know what you think in the comments. This is being covered up, and I can understand why, because they don't want to cause a mass panic or let these people who are doing these probes and dry runs know that we know. But the people have the right to know about this, because we definitely don't want something like 9/11 to happen again. So I won't come back on after the video. You just be the judge of the news reporting and the facts that they're putting forth, and let me know what you think. So thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.
Flight bound for Florida that some airline pilots say appeared to have been used as a dry run for terrorists.
10 News investigator Mike Deason has obtained an internal memo that details the frightening incident. Here right now with a story you'll see only on 10.
You will remember this day as long as you live.
The memories and images of 9/11 are seared into the minds of almost every American. And because of federal efforts to prevent a similar attack, many believe it could never happen again.
They're very foolish.
Wolf Koch is the chairman of the Airline Pilots Association International Aviation Security Committee.
They're going to try it again. 100%, no question in my mind, they're going to try it again.
Koch, as well as many other flight crews, are concerned the planning may already be underway. This memo, obtained by the 10 News investigators from the union that represents pilots for U.S. Airways, says there have been several cases recently throughout the airline industry of what appears to be probes or dry runs to test our procedures and reaction to an in-flight threat.
If a dry run's occurring, the attack is shortly following.
The pilots say the most recent dry run occurred on Flight 1880 on September 2nd. The flight left Reagan International Airport for Washington, headed for Orlando International. Crew members say that shortly after takeoff, a group of four, quote, Middle Eastern men caused a commotion. The witnesses claim one of the men ran from his seat in coach toward the flight deck door. He made a hard left and entered the forward bathroom, quote, for a considerable length of time. While he was in there, the other three men proceeded to move about the cabin, changing seats, opening overhead bins, and, quote, generally making a scene. The 10 News investigators contacted both U.S. Airways and TSA, and both confirmed the incident. The TSA told us it takes all reports of suspicious activity aboard aircraft seriously. The matter requires no further investigation at this time.
They're liars. They're flat-out liars.
This federal air marshal says several flights he has worked have been the targets of dry runs. And he and most of his colleagues believe no matter what the TSA says about no need for further investigation, the incident aboard Flight 1880 is serious. And while until now there has been absolutely no publicity about the U.S. Airways flight from D.C. to here at Orlando International Airport, airline security experts say incidents like this should not and cannot be ignored.
We're waiting for the next 9/11 to happen. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
Now, that federal air marshal, whose identity we are not revealing because agency rules prohibit him from talking to the media, says the TSA doesn't want the flying public to be aware of the problems with these terrorist probes. The air marshal and others we have spoken to say several flights they have worked have been targets of dry runs, and most of his colleagues believe no matter what the TSA says, the incident aboard Flight 1880 is serious.